Hello everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. I'm Steve. Today I'm going to do an overview on this AC1200 wireless router. This is the NETGEAR R6100. So the R6100 is an AC1200 dual band router. They've broken down the 1200 into 300 for the N and 867 for the AC band. That's going to cover your home, as they suggest here, and ideal for homes with more Wi-Fi devices. So you also get access to the NETGEAR Genie app, which is also going to help you to essentially edit and admin this particular router from a wireless device, such as your phone or a tablet. That being said, let me flip to the back and show you just a couple more features of this thing before I crack open the box. Their first feature they want you to know is speed. So you're going to get lots of speed with this particular device. Also the Wi-Fi range, you're going to get better range because AC, the 5 gigahertz range actually isn't as good for range, but the 2.4 gigahertz range is. And essentially this particular router is going to help you out trying to cover both areas for you, 5 gigahertz for the speed and 2.4 for wider range. Simultaneous dual band, so that this way it reduces some interference for better connections to your Wi-Fi devices, basically allowing you to use both the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz range at the same time. Advanced QoS to help you to basically get your quality of service and get your games streaming as well as your video streams set up and working properly together, so that this way it kind of mitigates that bandwidth for you. Make sure that you're downloading at approximately what you should be downloading for to get the best experience for both, best of both worlds. Also, this is a DLNA certified device, meaning that you'll be able to play your media shared through this device as a DLNA server to your TVs and your game consoles. So you can just watch whatever you share on this device with those. Also, ReadyShare USB access allows you to access your USB hard drives via one USB 2.0 port on this device. A couple more things I want to mention before I move out of here. They have a little chart down here with feature characteristics. The N300 being the low end, N600 being the mid, and the AC1200 being the high end, letting you know, just you can take a look at this and see what applies to you and what doesn't. But speeds are probably the best on everyone's mind, so AC1200 is the highest on this particular chart. Go ahead and flip to the side here for you and show you some of the technical specifications at the top. As I mentioned before, it is dual band, so you are getting 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands. Also, the Wi-Fi transmitters are 2x2 setup, meaning that you're going to have 2x2 for the 2.4 and 2x2 for the 5. That gives you 150 per each for a total of 300, and 433 for each of the AC to give you the 866, or 867 I guess, because it's 0.3333. Anyhow, Wi-Fi boost with high-powered radio amplifiers. Those antennas are actually built into the device, so they're not external, in case you were thinking that you could replace them. Memory, 128 megabytes of flash, and that would be for the firmware, with 128 megabytes of RAM to help this device along. Also advanced QoS to help you with the gaming and the streaming, as I mentioned before, and it is IPv6 support, along with some other important information there if you want to take a look. But I want to open up the box, so let's do that. First and foremost, NETGEAR wants you to know that you should be updating your firmware, so they give you a quick run through on how to do that. Then we do have several installation guides in multiple languages. I'm going to stick with the English, so let me go ahead and make sure I have the English one in my hand. There we go. I'll open this up just to give you guys a quick glance at what it is to use a NETGEAR manual and get all these nice pictographs on exactly what you need to be doing on how to install this particular router. And that should give you guys a pretty good idea of what you can expect from this. Put that down for a moment. They do give you some free e-music, 35 free songs to be exact, if I can get the reflection just right. Then they also show you that you could buy some other NETGEAR goodies to go along with this router. I'll just flip that open so you can get an idea of a couple of different things that you could be doing with it, other devices that you could add on to this one, including the webcams and whatnot. So, finally, they also give you the general public license, letting you know what rights you have with this particular software that's built into it. Now, moving along to some of the hardware aspects of this. Looks like you actually get a shielded Ethernet cable. It does come labeled so that you can tell which end to put in what, although I'll warn you it doesn't really matter which end you put it in. But if you wanted to stay the course, or if you need to have someone else to tell you how to do things, then it's a good idea when you're calling in customer support that these labels actually match where you plug them in. Then you get an AC adapter, handy dandy when you want to give power to this router. This obviously goes to the router, this goes to the AC plug. So let's talk about the router. So this is the look of the router itself. The R6100 is a glossy black plastic with some green highlights down here at the bottom. There's also some LEDs down here, but we tried a minute ago and you absolutely can't see them. So I'm going to wait till we plug it in to try and show you what's down there. But besides that, you do have two switches on the right side of the router. So I'm going to spin that around and just kind of give you a better look at it. This is how you turn on and off the Wi-Fi radio, as well as the WPS button that will allow you to get connected to other WPS-based devices, allowing you to get connected on the network just by tapping the button here and the WPS button on the client side, allowing you to get connected. We do have some ventilation here, actually quite a bit of it. All the little triangles remind me of a little bit of Legend of Zelda, but that's, I guess, beside the point, right? Down at the bottom you have all of your I/O. Here's a USB 2.0 port allowing you to share printers as well as USB storage devices. That would be flash drives or hard disk drives. Along the front here we do have all of our Ethernet ports. This is 100 megabit Ethernet ports, also backwards compatible to 10 and auto sensing. But besides that, also you have the WAN port here, the WAN port, WAN. What you want? The reset button right next to that. And that would help you if you ever end up losing the password or you just can't get connected to the router. You reset that thing real quick. You'll get right back into business. Reset back to defaults. Power switch right here to turn the thing on and off if you don't want to disconnect it from the DC plug here, which gives you the power to allow this to operate. And on the very bottom we do of course have the SSID information as well as the password in case you end up losing it. This is the default information for the wireless connection. Over here on the right we do have the MAC address information in case you're setting this up with your other router at the house and this isn't your primary router for internet traffic. That way you can set it up to have its own specific IP address for the DLNA server or anything else you'd like to do with it. Okay, as I mentioned before, it was really tough to see, but if you look down here at the very, very bottom, you'll actually notice that there are 4 different LED lights, and I need to plug in the USB to show you the 4th, but trust me, there's a 4th one there. First being the power, second being WAN connection, and third being the wireless is connected and currently running. And just plug in a USB drive real quick, flash drive I should say. You can see, whoops, you can see actually down at the bottom the little USB moniker blinking there. So, all right, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual UI. Now, with NETGEAR, as soon as you start up, it'll automatically reroute everything to routerlogin.net, which is essentially 192.168.1.1, which is the router. So as soon as you get there, it runs through a quick setup. You can print this out, but basically it tells you, hey, you're connected to the internet, everything's set, here's your wireless information, you're good to go. Actually, you're not. You really should go back in and log in and change your admin password. The admin password is always login username admin and password is password for NETGEARs. Varies on different routers, but NETGEARs, that's what you're gonna deal with. So the second time around, you're gonna see this, also reinforcing the fact that you're connected, everything's great, go register, all this stuff, but you still need to log in one more time, and when you finally get in, this is what you're gonna see. Essentially, some of the same things you're going to see on the app and some of the same abilities that you're going to have in the app, although in the end I believe it's the GUI that will win. You will basically have more options in the web-based GUI than you will on the applications that you can download on your Android or your iOS devices. So that being said, this is the basic connection. I'm actually going to skip over the basic, go straight to advanced. Just trying to shorten this up a little bit more. Also, of course, you can notice here a little purple link saying that there's new firmware upgrade is available. And I'll click that here at the end of the video just to show you what's actually available. Aside from that, here's some of the basic information you're going to get once you go to the advanced home. Router info, your internet port info, as well as wireless settings for both the N wireless as well as the AC wireless. Guest network if it's set up. Currently it's not, but you could set one up. Very helpful if you end up trying to allow people onto your wireless network without wanting to share all your files with them that you might already be sharing to the rest of the household. Kind of makes it a little bit more secure. Here's your setup wizard. Walk you through that. If you're not really familiar with how to set up the router, that will help you. WPS wizard, same thing except for allowing you to get connected using WPS clients, Wi-Fi protected setup, compatible devices. Your client would have to hit its button on your phone or on your other device, and then you would click it on this, and then it would allow connection. Makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes a pin's involved. Setup, so just to show you, here's the internet setup and all the things you would expect to see here. Wireless setup, your guest network. And anytime you want to stop and actually look to see what's available, you can do that. But for the sake of this video staying short, I need to rush through it, so I apologize in advance for those of you who wanted a little bit more in-depth video. Here's where you would see some of the WAN setup and some other options you have for that, as well as for your LAN setup. And QoS. This does come with advanced QoS, so you do have some additional options here. It is built into the device, allowing you to get the firmware update that will probably enable more devices and a better throughput for QoS devices, and just understanding in general what ports would need to be set up for what. It streamlines the whole process, so keeping it updated is always helpful. Your ready share storage, which right now I don't think I have anything connected, no, because I already disconnected it. Your basic settings for that, advanced. Your media server, should you decide to make one. This would be something that would allow you to do DLNA type content, allowing you to show your videos or pictures or whatever to your TV or your other gaming device, like your consoles in general, I should say, consoles. Also, you could disable it here and enable it for TiVo support. Very nice. Moving right along, we also have security. So parental controls, this is going to pop up with a new website to go to, live parental controls, which is netgear.com/LPC, basically allowing you to set up your device, make a user login, I'm sure is going to be involved with this, and basically pick and choose what times the internet's going to be available and for which MAC addresses and which devices on your network. You can block specific sites per schedule or always, as well as blocking particular services or ports in general. You can also schedule different start and stopping of blocking. You can set up email notifications. Dropping down to administration, you're going to see your router status here, as we saw kind of at the beginning there. Logs, any attached devices that are currently connected to the router. Specifically right now we're going to see the Cosmos 2 because that's the computer name of the device currently connected to it. And there it is. Also any 2.4 gigahertz wireless devices or 5 gigahertz wireless devices currently connected. Backup settings, you can back up all your settings here or restore them. Set the password. This is the big one. This is the one I probably should have started with, but if you are hanging in there through this video, this is where you need to be when you first get your admin password changed. And change it. Please do not keep it the standard default password, because that's really quick and easy to break into, and you just don't want to have to worry about that. Also, you can also have the ability to enable password recovery. Here's the different questions you can have the product ask you when you try to log in and are unable to. I also recommend maybe getting like a 3x5 card or something like that and just like taping it to the router. That way when you need it, you have it, and you don't have to worry about someone in your house having it. If they're in your house, you probably have some other problems involved. So you can check the internet right now for a new version of firmware. Here's where you would actually update it, or you can click this link if it sees one already. Advanced settings, there's the wireless settings. Here's if you wanted this to be a wireless AP, how you would enable it, and settings regarding that. Wireless repeating function, as well as your port forwarding and port triggering. Dynamic DNS, your static route table, remote management if you wanted to be able to manage this from outside the house, and USB settings so that you can set up your USB device and share files via that. UPnP, IPv6 capable router, as well as a traffic meter, keeping an eye on how much is being downloaded and when. One last time, I'm going to click this, and here is the current version information for the newest one that's out there. Okay, everybody, that wraps up this overview of NETGEAR's AC1200 wireless router. This has been the R6100 from NETGEAR. If you guys liked this video, go ahead and click the like button. If you haven't already done so, click subscribe, as well as subscribe to any of our various other YouTube channels, and we'll see you soon.